Hello, my name is Bradley and I'm your host of The Internal Game. Now today we're going to be talking about states, not statements, all right? Now first, the reason I talk about Eckhart Tolle so much, and not so much about Neville, even though Neville was a great mystic, right? Had it down as far as like, hey, get in a different state, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and it shall be yours, right? This is true stuff. You live in the end and you get the end experience, right? Real simple. But what keeps us from this is identity that doesn't want to change, belief systems that, same thing, that don't really want to change, and us not being aware of this and buying into thought pattern and story over and over and over again. That's why it seems so easy to tell a new story, and then seems also so difficult to get out of the old one when it pops up, and then we buy it and then we stay the same, right? That's the issue. Talk about this a lot. Now, Eckhart helped me recognize my own insanity. He helped me realize that there was a part of me that didn't want what I say I wanted because I was identified with what I said that I didn't want. Because I actually tried not to lose the things that I lost. I had a conscious mind saying, no, I would never want this. I would never not want to be chosen and not loved. I want to be loved. I want to be chosen. I want to be seen, heard, validated. But I had an unconscious, conditioned mind that saw itself as not chosen, as abandoned, as not loved, as not worthy. So I had a conscious mind that said, I want one thing, and an unconscious mind that wanted another. That's all that was happening. And so when I started to be aware of thought pattern, as Eckhart so kindly instructed us to do in the book, The Power of Now, I was able to see that I was really being chaotic. I was being insane. My state of being was pulled in every direction, and it was in states of lack and states of neediness, states of despair, pain, right? I was identified with pain. If you're identified with not being chosen, not being worthy, if you're identified with being abandoned, as in this is how you see yourself, you are identified with pain, and that means pain is more normal to you than some chosen, glorious, worthy experience. It's more normal to you to experience the pain than it is to not, okay? And then the unconscious part of us wants to continue in its consistency and keep the pain alive because that's how it sees itself. Now, when I first read Neville, I was like, okay, cool. Feeling the wish fulfilled. It's done. I am now in a loving, happy relationship with so-and-so. I am now chosen. I am now this. And then I had an unconscious mind after a little while that was like, hey, that's actually not us. And it sent out a bunch of story, a bunch of memories, a bunch of perceptions about a certain circumstance that was in alignment with the identity, the pain, the being abandoned, whatever. And then I bought it because I wasn't used to being aware of thoughts. Because every time that I would embody or think I was embodying this new way of being chosen and feeling confident and loving and like this is my world, I'm bossing up, taking it to another level, this belief system felt threatened after I started to get too comfortable over here. And then because it felt threatened, it would shoot up the memories, the perspectives, the thoughts, and I would buy it, never truly leaving it in the first place. Okay, because what we react to, we identify with, and if I was so easily reactive to a thought, that I never really was not identified with that. You know what I'm saying? So when I started to be aware of thought, like Eckhart had instructed me to do, I was able to see the insanity of how I was being. I was able to see that there was a part of me that didn't want what I say I wanted. That there was a conscious part of me that said, I want this and I want that, I want this, I want that. I want to be loved, I want to be chosen, seen, validated. And an unconscious part of me that never wanted that because then it couldn't exist. That version of me that I thought that I was couldn't exist. So for me, it wasn't as easy as just embodying this new way, because I kept getting pulled back. So when I started to focus on that and say, wow, I've been kind of being insane. There's a part of me that wants this, that wants this pain because I'm used to it. Then I had some choice. Because until then, I didn't have as much choice as I thought I did because I was acting unconsciously all the time. I found myself trying to manifest pretty much all day long. I found myself thinking about it all the time. Like, am I doing it right? Does this mean this? If I thought that, oh my God, I bought that thought. What does that mean? Is it happening yet? I'm not seeing anything. And then I would talk to her, and then I'm like, oh, well, it seems like she really loves that guy. Wow, must be, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, am I doing it right? Like, on a spiral. And my life became about this thing. And then when I started to recognize my insanity, I was like, yo, if I was to vocalize my state of being right now, dude, like, if my state of being was to walk up and knock on this person's door, and ask yourself this question, like, if your state of being was to knock on this person's door and you've been trying to manifest this person all day long, and you're needy, and you're needing something from this person so you feel okay, and you need the text back, and you need them to tell you that you're the one, so you feel like you're the one, then what we're doing, like, with our state of being, our statements are saying, no, I'm loved, I'm chosen, I'm this, but like, our state of being is frantic, is not feeling whole, is still seeking, still searching through content maybe. Nonetheless, like, it's still 100% in lack. Statement saying one thing, state of being saying another. And if we were to communicate the state of being, and we knocked on the door, it'd be like, hey, guess what? Think about you all the time. But it's okay. I think about you like so much that it's like not even funny. And like I'm learning some things about manifesting, and like we're all connected, and it's really cool. And I'm not even really mad at you for like leaving and ghosting me, because like I created that. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, like I'll tell you later. Like, but like I know I created that, and like I pushed you away because of my assumptions about you, based on my assumptions of myself. But like it's okay. I'm gonna change it around, because like I put my whole life on hold to manifest you. Like, you're all I think about, and I affirm all the time for you like a banshee, because like, well, you're the most important thing in my whole entire life, and like my whole life just kind of fell by the wayside just because I got all my focus on you, and I really don't even know what to do anymore besides manifest you. It's become my whole way of life. I'm so anxious, but like it's okay, because once I get you back, I'm not gonna be anxious anymore, and it's gonna be like this really cool experience, and we're gonna like live happily ever after. Do you hear that? It's a bit much, right? And we think sometimes that like we're not communicating this energetically, that we're not suffocating someone energetically, because our statements, our affirmations are saying, I'm loved, I'm chosen, they think about me all the time, they only think about me, they only want me, and yeah, only me, it's only me for them. And then our state of being is like living in a completely different reality than these statements. State of being matters. Recognizing, being aware of what you're actually doing matters more than the statements that you're saying. Now, when I started to be aware of like the insanity, like, man, I'm in a room, have no money, I am completely focused on manifesting this person back, because once I get this person back, I'm going to be okay. That's what I'm telling myself. But at the same time, I had this person and I wasn't okay, because I was fearful, insecure, and in doubt, and I was projecting this onto this person. So it wasn't enough then. Her physical, like her being there in the physical, wasn't enough then for me to feel safe or confident. So what makes me think it's going to be like that now? Like it was illusion. And I was like, if this person was to come back today, it'd be a matter of time before I was being how I was, because I'm still being that way. Like, I wouldn't believe it. I would still be anxious. I would still be like, who was that? Who texted you that? Because I was not stable within myself. So I was able to recognize the insanity, like, hey, I'm falling for illusion, thinking I'm doing something that I'm not, number one. Number two, there's a part of me that like wants to not be chosen, to be abandoned, because then this little me gets to survive. And three, like, this person's never made me happy. This person has never made me feel confident. Like, I didn't feel those ways when they were there and when they weren't there. So it has nothing to do with them. And seeing that, like, yo, I'm kind of being neurotic. I'm kind of being insane. Like, how about I start there? How about I start recognizing these patterns? Because it's not a specific person, it's a specific pattern. It's a specific pattern. That's why you found yourself in the same position over and over and over again. And guess what? Just like I said earlier, even if the person starts to treat you with love, respect, kindness, admiration, seeing you, validating you, if you do not feel these ways, you will eventually start to sabotage what they're doing and the whole experience, because it threatens how you see yourself. And this is all unconscious. This is not conscious. You're not consciously waking up in the morning thinking, hey, how can I sabotage my relationship? Hey, how can I see this person so shitty that like, that it just gets reflected back and it's just a real shitty day? You're not doing that. Like, think about also the insanity of saying, I love this person, but I think so unfavorably of them that it's not even funny. I think they're cold. I think they're mean. I think they're distant. I think they're, God knows what we've got into as far as getting online and perceiving them as like the avoidant person, right? Just because you're being anxious. That's just a natural byproduct of someone being anxious. Someone has to start running. And then in the same breath, we say like, I love this person, but I don't like anything about them because like they treat me this way, or they're this way. But I know I created it. Like it's madness. It's actual madness. We need to start looking at what we're actually doing, the state of being itself. What is it longing for? What's it missing? What is it needing? Why are we being clingy? What are the stories that we're playing? What are the stories that we keep buying into? Not the statements that we're forcing upon ourselves, or that are ideal to the conscious but not the unconscious. Start looking at that. Because when I got my attention off of like this external manifestation, because I stopped buying into the illusion that it was going to make me feel some kind of way, because it didn't do it before. Because I sabotaged it. And got out of the external, like looking for the external manifestation, and then started to think about, hey, why do I keep doing this? When these thoughts come up, when these stories come up, like being aware of them, because that's the actual issue. It's not them. When I started to do that, when I started to recognize my own insanity, when I started to realize, hey, this is just madness, like, and I need to focus on this and get out of this, not buy into this stuff anymore, focus on my breathing, focus on my inner body, break the pattern. When that became priority, when my state of being, not my statements, when my state, not my statements, became my state of being, or became my priority, all else just fell into place. State of being primary, external secondary. Inside first, outside second. Don't disillusion yourself with statements, thinking that you might be doing something other than what you are. Take a look at what's going on. Drop the affirmations, drop the telling a new story for a second, drop the idea of trying to manifest them for a second, and look at what you've actually been doing internally. So ask yourself, what would my state of being vocalize? Like, if I didn't have this mask of affirmation on top of my state tricking me, what is my state of being saying? Is it knocking on the door like, hey, I can't think of anything else but you. Hey, it's only ever been you. If someone did that to you, like if your person did that to you and had that type of energy coming your way, suffocating, you would be like, okay, that's enough. Nope. It's just too much. So like, get honest with how you're actually being. State, not statements. Look at the state. What's it vocalizing? Be still and know that I'm God is it. It's just it. Like, when you're still, when you're like when your attention is in your body, when you get out of the mind, or at the bare minimum, just not taking it seriously, like, okay, those are just thoughts. When you're still, you know. Like, you're not entertaining stories. You're not fueling belief systems that keep this little me alive. You're not feeling separate from this person because you got a whole bunch of stories as to what they do and why they're like this and why they're not going to be like that. You're not vocally communicating. You're not verbalizing a state of being that's very needy, desperate. You're not saying, "Oh my God," like you're not doing that. You're being still, and then the world can rearrange around you, just like it did when you were chaotic. We talk about trust and faith, right? Like, oh, have trust, have faith. Don't have trust and faith in the specifics in the statement. Have faith in the state. Have faith in the stillness. The not worry. What is there to worry about right here, right now? What problem you got? Nothing. And the more that you return to this stillness, this state, not statements, this more secure, stable state, lacking nothing, because you're not telling yourself stories about why you don't have something, why you're not okay, because you don't have the thing. So there's nothing to really buy into that you're lacking anything. You're not eager and yearning for some future moment when things are going to be okay, implying that things are not okay right now, and you're just still and you're here, right now. Then these perceived problems that you have start to dissolve because you're no longer focused on them. You're no longer saying that there is one. And the more still and the more present and the more stable that you get, you'll realize you don't even really want to tell affirmations that much. You can out of fun and kind of just like, oh, I'm gonna experience this. I intend this now. This is how it is for me now. Tell little cool stories if you want to, but like, there's no need to do that. Okay? It doesn't say be still, or it doesn't say affirm that you're God. Jesus didn't tell us that. Jesus was an enlightened being. He figured some things out. He realized some things is a better way of saying that. He's an enlightened being. He didn't say affirm and know that you're God. He said be still and know that I am God. Be still, know that you are God. He didn't say affirm before you enter the temple. He said forgive before you enter the temple. Forgive the past. Drop it. Drop the stories of the person. Forgive forgive the past, all of it. The stories that are coming from it. Every time the story pops up from belief system, oh, that's over. Presence is the kingdom. State, not statements. Okay? State matters, not statement. Affirming that you're God means nothing if you are not present and within the kingdom. It means nothing. It's another layer of the ego that's like, oh, cool, I'm God. Then what's the problem? Where's it at? What's happening, again, I'm gonna say this for a little while for sure. What's happening is you have a conscious mind that says it doesn't want something, you have a conscious mind that says, I want to be chosen, loved, accepted, honored, seen, heard, validated, all this good stuff. And then you have an unconscious mind, a conditioned mind, a pattern mind that says, I don't want that. I'm not saying everybody in the world has this, but I am saying if you found how to get your person back on YouTube, you're probably in this ballpark somewhere. And the unconscious mind doesn't want, like the belief system doesn't want change. And if you're not used to being aware of thoughts and story in general, you'll buy it every time that it shoots a missile up of story to get you to identify with it. If you're not used to it, if you're not used to being aware of the thoughts, you will identify with it. Unconsciously. And then in the same sentence, say, I don't want this. You will affirm, I am this, I am that, I am this, and the state of being will be the opposite of that because you're not aware of what's happening. You're disillusioning yourself, and the ego's gonna let you do it. It doesn't want to be found out. Disillusion yourself, oh yeah, just tell a statement. I'm God. Be still, know that I am God. The only solution is consciousness. If the only problem is your unconsciousness, then your only solution is to shed light on it. Take a look at it. Stop being so scared of it. That keeps it alive too. Stop being so scared of like, oh my God, I want to affirm the story. You're already living it. Like I don't want to affirm that like they're not here. No, you that's what's going on. Now stop being scared of it. Take a look at it and say, okay, listen, why have things not been happening? Why do I keep reacting? Why do I keep buying into these stories? Why am I still so scared and chaotic internally? Because that's what's actually going on, not the statements. The statements keep just disillusioning me, thinking that I'm doing something that I'm not doing because the state of being is more important. Let's run the show. So get aware of the fucking stories that constantly get launched up from belief system, from this identity that the mind, this mind-made self that you think you are, right? That is 100% not God. 100% not that. Now, is it all part of God? Yes, but like when you're identified mind that has zero idea what God is, the only way that you're ever gonna truly know how incredible and remarkable this whole thing is going to be when you get still and get out of all the things that you are not. Someone just asked me on a session, when did you start feeling seen, heard, validated, fucking all that stuff, right? And like, when's that the next part? It's like, dude, that happens naturally when you get out of all the stories that you're not. When every time you perceive the person, they don't text you because you have this little me identity. It's like, oh, I'm not seen, heard, and validated. So it starts perceiving this person's not text as not seeing me, hearing me, validating me, instead of just not texting. Maybe they're busy or something. And then it creates this experience. Then if you stop buying into the stories when it's happening in the moment that like the mind's making up, the belief system is perceiving that like this little me is not being seen, heard, validated. When you stop buying into it in the moment right then, it weakens. And then eventually you stop feeling not seen, not heard, not validated. And people just start seeing you, hearing you, and validating you, all without you ever having to affirm it because you're no longer disillusioning yourself and thinking that you're not. Because state of being matters more than the statements. Would matter if you said it, if you still were being it, if you still were entertaining stories of not being these things. Would matter if you said it. Presence is the answer. It dissolves anything that's not you. But you gotta want it. But you gotta want to get out of what's not you. Even though it feels really comfortable and really real. Okay? Statements are not as cool as the state. I think that's it. Love you guys. See you soon.